Hi, Jamie.
Well, hello, Carl. Hello, Carla.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, and welcome everyone here. I mentioned earlier we had a wonderful experience last week with Aligned Ambition, and there are some people here on camera, some off, and some at home watching the video later. So, welcome all, remote included. And tonight we would like to introduce you to Carl Buchheit, co-founder of NLP Marin, and all of this gorgeous technology. I talked with a student earlier today, Carl, and her question is, what is the difference between transformational NLP and regular NLP? And I say, boy, do I have a good night for you.
Okay.
And then also Carla Camou. She is also part of the building of this technology, and they have been working for years and years, bringing this information for personal growth and for taking these incredible skills into your practices and into the world. And there's something gorgeous that Carl and Carla say, and I've heard this from Carla, but I know this is Carl and Carla, is that they're into world peace, healing one person at a time. So, and teaching the skills. So therefore it spreads out so others can do the same. So welcome tonight, and I leave you in great hands.
Are you going?
I'm staying, but I will,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'll be
Well,
around.
I was panicking, so I'll calm down. All right.
We can relax. Jamie's staying. I'm staying.
Okay. Okay. Carla, let me just introduce Margaret to you for just a moment. Margaret, could you give us a wave? Margaret is one of was one of Jonathan's students in Austin
Wow.
long time ago. Yeah. Yeah. That's all. Just okay. So, all life
We're trying to
questions will
decide
be
if I could
answered.
do a little Jonathan. I decided I couldn't.
All live questions will be answered by Carla. Okay. So
That's awesome.
what's okay? So here we are. I've got tea. Carla's got her cats. I've got my cat out there. We're ready to go. What's cooking?
We do want to open it up to any participant questions, but I think it would be great to start with how do you describe transformational NLP? I know that's always a fun question to answer.
Yes. And well, the first thing I always have to say is my elevator talk about transformational NLP takes 3 hours. So it needs to happen in a very, very tall building with a very slow elevator, or an elevator that's broken down and then nobody can get away and they're stuck with me for 3 hours. The short of it is neurolinguistic programming is a methodology for understanding and really directly revising hell, here's the word, the programming that gives rise to human experience. And there are tools and skills inside the NLP toolbox that don't exist anyplace else. And um, NLP has a bit of a checkered history because it was really gorgeous stuff when it was first being developed. It's still gorgeous stuff, but it had a pretty nice reputation when it was first being developed in the middle 1970s, going up into the early 80s. And then it kind of went out into the world and it became uh, well, it, it got I almost said distorted because that's my experience of it. So I'll use a nicer word. It was converted into a toolbox for picking up people in bars
And speed,
and and
not
a
just picking
tool
up, but yeah.
a toolbox for avoiding being picked up by people who are using NLP to pick up people in bars.
And also as like very, very kind of slimy sales techniques.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
when I when I in the mid 80s approached one of my college professors to find out if he would do a reading study. You could get credit if you read a book together and then discussed it about NLP. He literally like turned white, took a step back, and growled. And I was he gave me an A. I talked him into it.
Yeah, you did. You used some of that tricky mind control. Yeah.
Um, actually, I just used some of the very basic skills that we do in the beginning of core, and I stayed really curious. And I said, he said, "Oh, I would never want anything to do with it. It's, it's so manipulative." And I said, "Really, I'd be interesting to hear where you heard about it because that's not been my experience at all." And he was like, "Well, that's kind of interesting." And so we started talking. Our discussions of the book mostly were me doing pieces of work on him, but
Oh, manipulative. Yes.
not at all. No, I offered, or we got partway in asking questions, and I said, "I have some tools that will help. Would you like me to try?" And he was like, "Yes, please." It was
And
fun.
so as the 1980s progressed into the 1990s, NLP um, was held in ill odor by and large. Um, and and then in the 2000s, it started. Well, I mean, I've been involved with neurolinguistic programming since 1979, and you can just do the arithmetic on that. It's quite horrifying. And Carla's since what, about 1982 or 3 or something?
I was trying to remember. I think it's like 86.
Okay. Oh, you're a newbie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a newbie. Yeah.
Yeah. And lately it has become something called neurolinguistic programming. All right. So, which yeah, so we won't even go there. It's a method, it's a methodology for understanding and revising human experience really directly, and it operates to produce change in external behavior and internal behavior, which is more commonly known as internal experience. And we can do change work at that level. We can do change work to add in capabilities that the events of one's life just neglected to make available to someone. And it is used to understand and revise beliefs really directly. We really beliefs about the world, who's in that world, what that world is like, how it works, where we fit in or we do not fit in so well in that world. And then to make revisions in our narrative, our description, our understanding of who we are and how we are put together, what we call identity. So if someone says, I really can't do something very well, that would be a description like I can or I can't do something. That's, and we would say, what would you like? Because neurolinguistic programming is always about finding out what the person wants to experience and is not experiencing, or is experiencing that won't stop, but that they don't want, right? We find out what they do want, and then we just proceed to revise some things. That's why programming is in there. It's like you revise the programming, you get a different output. Again, the output is just our experience of being human. Um, Transformational NLP is it comes from a different place than conventional NLP in that two or three really important distinctions. Regular NLP essentially gives you a box of tech, little, so to speak, a shoebox full of index cards with techniques on them. Here's the technique for doing this. You have to learn the basics. You have to learn the tools to do the techniques, but you're just sort of executing techniques without really understanding how it is that human experience gets generated and gets stuck and gets liberated and all that stuff that we all deal with every day. A student once described it this way: if you study regular NLP, you'll you will end up with this marvelous set of tools. It's like having a set of chef's knives, yeah, If you study transformational NLP, our evolution of NLP, you end up as a chef. Okay.
Conventional NLP can be quite effective. And the analogy I usually use is it's like a paint by numbers. If you follow it, you're going to get a decent looking picture, but you're not really learning, you're not at the point of being an artist where you're learning the strokes and how to see and how to paint something. You're just kind of going through what you're supposed to do. The other thing is that conventional NLP sort of holds where you are as some kind of a problem and where you want to get to as the goal. And so that means kind of overcoming yourself or fixing something in yourself. And transformational NLP, we are starting from wherever we are is hard won and hard fought. And it is, it's there for a reason. There was a lot of creative energy. There was a lot of brilliance and heart that went into getting wherever it is you are. And there's a reason that you're there. And we need to be able to appreciate that and understand how it is that you are in this place that you kind of maybe think is so yucky, but you got to get credit for being where you are. And then we take that to transform. Now, if we take that creative energy that got you to where you are and apply it towards this goal, and applying that's not really, it's not a mental thing, but if we free up any attachment or anything that keeps you stuck where you are, then what the goal that can unfold is much larger. And in it comes an understanding of how every moment of your life has built to getting to what you want. So you're not looking back at your life as a bunch of bad choices and being a failure. They're all part of the pathway to where you're wanting to go. And to me, that has so much more respect for everything we have experienced and learned from.
In the sense that at its kind of darkest, NLP was turning into a powerful
Change tool.
Powerful tool for annihilating your limitations and obliterating your obstacles. And it's quite disrespectful of being human.
I can tell Margaret trained with Jonathan just by the look on your face when Carl said that. Because Jonathan came in and added so much. I'm sorry, Carl. Just quite of Margaret.
So another way to simply say it is conventional NLP is about doing change work, and a lot of it has become directed toward persuasion and influence and that kind of stuff. And it is a remarkably lovely toolbox for that. There is no question. Transformational NLP, we're not so much interested in learning or teaching how to persuade people about stuff. What we're interested in doing is assisting them to revise their relationship with three things: with themselves, revising their relationship with other selves, and revising their relationship and cleaning up or improving their relationship with life itself. Mm-hmm. So these are our three kind of points on the Holy Grail for us. The way we describe it is rapport with ourselves, which is a condition of respect and tolerance and enjoyment. We're all doing the best we can with what we've got. That doesn't mean it's great or good. It just means it's the best we've got. That's one of our precepts. It's a conventional NLP precept, by the way. It's not one of our mystical woo-woo transformational precepts, of which we have quite a few. Our objective is to assist everyone, including ourselves, to increase our rapport and respect for ourselves, our rapport and respect for other selves, which in common language is just called others. But other selves has a different tenor to it, yeah? Rapport with ourselves, with other selves, and with life itself. And it's quite astonishing and amazing, even in the simplest components of it and their application. Uh, it's just like nothing you've ever seen anyplace else in the world, actually. So there.
And we don't have an easy time being serious, so
Oh yeah,
don't worry about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's definitely not graduate school.
Even
So,
the
so we'd like to open it up to your questions. And at the bottom of your Zoom screen is a react button. You can use that to raise your hand.
There we go, and like Angela just did. Zoom hand, and then we know you have a question
Or a comment or a statement.
or complaint. Yeah.
Yes.
So what questions do you have?
chat is fine as well.
Yeah, about the course, about transformational NLP.
I'm telling secrets about Carl tonight. Hey, Carmen.
Hi,
Hey,
Carmen.
hi there. Yeah, a question in regards to what was just posted here in the chat.
Which
Uh,
was what? Which was what?
it is about the core competency
Yeah.
transformation LP 6-month course. Is this on-site or
This is
online
all on
or
Zoom.
hybrid?
This is all Zoom.
It's all a Zoom.
The
Okay.
core is all Zoom, and then in the summer we offer the intensive version that is all in person. There's no hybrid on that one. Well, the intensive schedule is 2 5-day weekends, and then we join the August 8th through 10th on Zoom for the final weekend. So the 2 5-day weekends of ITC are in person. They'll be in San Rafael, actually up in Novato. And then back on Zoom on the 8th of August. And the rest of the core class is all on Zoom, and study groups are on Zoom
For both
Okay.
classes.
for both classes. Yeah.
Okay. And I see there's third-party financing available.
Yes, if you are interested, please, I can send you something after meeting today, or you can ping me and I'm happy to discuss it with you and send you that information.
Okay. And is this a prerequisite before any of the other courses that you offer in holographic NLP and all
Yeah.
that other woo-woo
So
stuff?
it's a prerequisite for the masters and the hollow classes.
Okay. There's
There's a rapport with self series, which is like the beyond blame and shame and beyond guilt and innocence. That's standalone. There's no prerequisites for those classes, but for the tracked classes, yeah.
Okay. That's it for now.
Great.
Thank you, Carmen.
You're welcome.
So, any other questions?
No, I just wanted to say I'm sorry I had to join late. I don't know if you've introduced everyone.
No, we haven't done introductions, actually. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
Welcome. Yeah, we're just opening the floor to questions right now about transformational NLP or the upcoming core competencies class. Yeah, or just, it would also be interesting to know what brought you to NLP Marin and what you're most curious about the classes.
Or
And
even a little bit curious about, given that we're not hearing a lot of talking.
With the people that are our graduates, would you, let's see, what reaction could we have you put up there that would show us? Would you put like a thumbs up on your screen on the React? Tim, come on. Alvaro. Oh, not that one. The one that just sits up there like Angela's. Yeah.
well, I think some of us don't have a choice.
Oh, you don't have a choice. Okay. Zoom keeps changing this. Anyway, these are also people who have gone through our whole program. So we can, if you want to ask them some questions too about what their experience was, or if any of you graduates want to share that might be nice for people to hear. We have a general policy when we ask our graduates to talk, which is to tell the truth. We don't tell them anything else to say. Just what was it for you? Or what is it you would like to share? What would you like to tell people if you want to? Talkative group tonight.
Hi, my comment is very simple. Across a number of years in many modalities, I have never experienced the sense of community, number one, which is so deeply fulfilling to me, and the content integrity. It enables me to better listen to others so as to better understand. And in that, I find my connections are more meaningful. And I just keep coming back for more and more and more because it's just, and I came in with an initial thought like, I'll just put this bag of rocks in my backpack of things. And so now I use it as a primary, secondary, and tertiary modality and approach. And it's just so much more than a learning. The environment that's created, the community that exists, the type of people that come in, create an environment of absorption that is just so much more than information downloading and theoretical understanding. So that's my take. I could go on and on and on, but I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Wow. Thank you.
Over a decade ago, about a decade ago, I came in for the music and stayed for the food. Um, um, and I fought myself and still are, but I fought myself with tooth and nails about what was being presented to me in terms of how things actually work. And I could see that there was something there, but I would still like resist it like crazy. And but I kept and kept and kept, and I'm involved with this community, which gives so much in terms of learning about ourselves to learn to better understand what is around us. And as Jay was saying, there's so many tools that become a little bit of part of like second nature um, in how we relate with others, but also with ourselves, with myself. That's what I've learned to how I relate to myself. Um, so yeah, and you learn to appreciate carbs.
You appreciate what?
Carbs.
Carbs, pizza.
Oh,
Carbs.
carbs. Yes. Okay, got it.
We use our brains a
Yes.
lot, so kind of that desire for glucose
And
Yes.
increase.
and yeah, and as in my involvement as a TA and working with just as an assistant, it's actually it's a glorious experience to to see people that were in a similar shoes that I was, and how they eventually start shaping themselves into a much more um, they're very different people in terms of how they relate to themselves and with others. So it's I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it's a wonderful experience.
We're not telling people how to be. What we're doing is helping people be what they want to be and to have that outside of them kind of reflect more of what their experience of the inside of them is, like to feel more congruent within themselves and to be actually being the person that they want to be in the world.
So I'll chime in here for a second.
Yes, please.
Um,
Who are you?
Thank you, Alvaro, very much.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank you.
Alvaro. Like, who is this? Should we let our general manager speak, Carl?
I don't think we have a choice.
I know we don't. Yeah.
So I know that when I first came to NLP Marin, my goal was to get some skills to just add to my toolbox for running my consulting practice. And I know a lot of people come with goals like, I want a better job, I want to make more money, I want to have a better relationship. And those are all worthy, and that's where we start, right? And as people go through the classes, as Alvaro and Jay and others have shared, that you realize that there is so much beneath that surface that you gain by taking the courses. And so what you're hearing is from students who've been through the courses and have achieved that deeper level of understanding and meaning in their lives. And it may not be what you're reaching for right now, but you're reaching for all the things that you do want: better relationship, more money, better job, better skills, etc. Are all also reaching for that. So I just invite you to be where you are with your interest in this class, and come along for the ride with us. It's really fun.
It actually is fun, and it's also
Terrifying
well,
sometimes.
yeah, it's a punctuated equilibrium. It's really fun, punctuated by moments of complete terror and horror. But everyone gets used to it. And not everyone experiences the terror and the horror at the same time.
Really.
So it's actually fun for all the rest of us.
Jay?
Yeah, I just want to double click on what Alvaro said and what Carly said in that I've been through so many associations and so many groups and spiritual communities and organizations, and it's all really great as long as you buy into their beliefs. This is not that. It's not that at all. It's, and that which it isn't, which is no agenda other than to be in service to me or to you, is what accelerates the learning. It creates a field that accelerates the learning. And if it doesn't accelerate it, it deepens it.
Wow, that's so nicely said. Wow.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah. Wow.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. You were just on a roll there.
Yeah, I know I could go on for hours, but I think I'll take my cue, exit stage left.
Well, we're not having a lot of competition for the floor right now, so you can go on if you want.
Yeah,
Hi,
I
Jamie.
will.
Okay, yeah, please, yeah.
The content integrity is amazing. The program design unfolds as simply and elegantly as any flower you would see in a garden. And you look back at it and you go, I had no idea that the flower, which is me, and the design which it delivers would unfold that way. And there's just a simple, easy magic to it that has such program design integrity that it just so takes into account how we pace and learn. So when I say that I've never experienced anything like it, that's a couple of reasons why. Because it's not just about the community, it's not just about the people as participants, it's not about the quality of the content. It's also so much about how simple and elegant the design of learning is, the sequence of it, how it unfolds, the study groups that go on. I mean, we're involved in, last thing I promise, we're involved at the end of masters. And I'm fortunate enough to TA in study groups, and people are coming almost with Kleenex boxes saying, I can't believe the study groups are going to end.
Mm. In the current master's class, you mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
We have a question in chat. Is studying transformational NLP, is it enough to start your own business, or do you need to mix it with some other type of psychology? And can it be used for self-development? Let's say the client not sure what exactly they want in life. The second question, absolutely. That's a lot of why people work with somebody with an NLP practitioner, and what a lot of our students are reaching for is just some personal development. It kind of naturally happens. Now we don't have a particular direction we expect that to happen. We're really there just to support whatever it is you're reaching for learning wise. We present a bunch of skills and we give you a lot of practice in those skills, but in that time of practicing it, you will learn a lot about yourself and about each other. And it's a different kind of learning about yourself and each other. It's not, okay, so, tell me a story about when something really bad happened to you, or, we're not digging. We'll put it that way. It's unfolding as we're talking and as we're practicing the skills. So it's not this big, like, you must now be vulnerable immediately with everyone. No.
No, we're not here to confront anybody about anything.
Yeah. And whether or not it's something that you will come out of core with the basic toolbox, which is enough to do some change work with people. If you really want to do this as a career, you're going to want to go all the way through, because the master's gives you master's shows you how to work with beliefs and identity, and then the hollow is really about who you are and how who you are impacts the people you work with, and how you can work with that in a way that is beneficial to your clients. So yeah, at the end of the hollow class, people can start practices. Some people start them much sooner, but yeah. Is
Some
somebody else
people
saying something?
No, unless you can turn it to oxygen.
Someone has their microphone on.
Last time you said you didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna, okay, somebody else did it.
Thank you.
And some people begin a practice when they finish core. Most people prefer to wait until they get through masters, where we're working with actually a lot of psychology and a lot of attention to those levels of that we call belief and identity, and how the patterning that we experience to be in our way has actually been in there and been running as best it can to try to keep us safe and well. Only the version of us that's mostly trying to keep safe and well is usually about 5 years old. But there's nothing in our neurology that unlearns that old patterning. We can learn new things. We learn many new things as we age and move through life, but our brains don't unlearn anything. So sometimes we have to outsmart our brains. And neurolinguistic programming, the name sounds even kind of like, that sounds pretty tricky. Well, yeah, sometimes we have to outsmart our brains so that ourselves can take a breath, appreciate and respect everything and move forward. And there's the objective of really good, if you're thinking about NLP, doing some NLP change work, the objective of good NLP change work is for the person to have the experience that they want to have without having to remember to be different. Why do they not have to remember to be different or make an effort to be different? Well, it's because of programming or patterning. Patterning, I mean, programming runs, and every time it runs the same way it runs. And like what good would a pattern be that didn't repeat, right? Things can't be a pattern unless they repeat. So we all have legacy patterning that we learned long ago and far away in places that were beautiful and lovely or places that were scary and dark. It's all across the spectrum. And when we revise the instructions that tell reality how to be for us, those instructions stay revised. And we don't have to continue to put our conscious attention on having things be different, because that which gives rise to the reality has been recoded or reprogrammed or repatterned. It's really fun and it's quite remarkable. And I had an experience today with a client where I learned something I've never noticed about NLP before, like this thing that it can do that I never noticed it can do until I was reaching to find something to be useful for a client. I kept the top of my head on, and now I'm eager. Like the next time I get in front of a fairly experienced class, I'm going to launch into this new aspect, this new facet in the jewel called transformational NLP. It's really neat. I wish I had noticed it 30 years ago.
This is how a lot of the development that Carl and I have done happens, is we're working with a client and we're just reaching for something and discover, oh my gosh, we can do this way. And then we immediately take it in and start teaching.
And just to underline, we don't tell you how you should be or who you should be or what you should eat or who you should sleep with. Okay. We're not in that business.
No,
No.
no. And even if you ask us, we won't tell you.
Yeah.
It's like that just doesn't feel quite,
Well, I know what the question might be. So what would you like?
Yes, that's we will come back with that. Yeah. That's how we'll respond usually.
Yeah.
Yep. Jamie, you were gonna say something?
Yes, I kind of wanted to talk to the question that was that was asked. And is studying transformational NLP enough to start a business? And you both answered that gorgeously. And then can it be used for self-development? So I took core for self-development and exclusively. By the 7th week of masters, after falling super duper in love with this work, I accidentally started a business and I have never looked back. But I couldn't have done that unless I had worked on myself as much as I did through core and masters. Earlier, when Carl said, sometimes it's, terrifying and painful. I sat in masters for a weekend, maybe the whole weekend, crying with boogers and tears on my chest and, just a complete mess. And it was gorgeous that I got to do that in an environment where they let me have my own experience. And I asked Carl and Carla, am I even going to remember what we studied? They said, don't worry, your superconscious is always online, so it will integrate as it does. So to answer that question, absolutely. And, for self-development, 100%, at least in my case. And I probably have heard that from most of the people I've talked with. And then can you start a practice after core? I've seen people do it. I've heard of businesses starting after core. After masters, it was not confusing to me. After hollow is when even bigger things integrated to have more presence for my clients. So, and no, you don't need any psychology background, not even one single class in order to start this towards something really great in your own practice or for your personal self. So, and I'll just say this one little piece that I got that is the biggest thing in my life. If I got nothing else through Masters, Hollow 1 and Hollow 2, I like myself a lot more. And from there, I do everything differently. So it's been one of the best journeys of my life.
Thank you, Jamie.
And one of the reasons that you don't need psychology to come into this is we provide a lot of it. NLP has been around long enough that there are different schools of NLP, so to speak. The one that Carla and I are operating through the legacy of uh, is the work of a really wonderful guy named Jonathan Rice. He was the only clinical psychologist who participated in the very, 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 very formative years of NLP in the late 1970s and early 80s. And so Jonathan was an experienced clinician and a brilliant guy, and kind of cranky sometimes. So you paid attention, um, and uh, and so John was part of developing neurolinguistic programming, but he also had all of this experience as a clinical psychologist, and he regarded these two things as like made for each other, right? And as he evolved his work and his creational role in developing NLP and his continuing role as a clinical psychologist, he put these two things together, right? And they both got better, right? The NLP with the psychology was way better NLP, and the psychology or the psychotherapy with NLP was much better psychotherapy. It was just like incandescently, like poof. And um, so there are some places in the world where if you mention psychology around NLP people, they go, well, that's just a lot of hooey. We are not in that territory. We respect and admire the astonishing amount of really good work that's been done over around 100 years. We can't include all of it, and we don't need a lot of it because we have more elegant ways of getting to things and working with them just directly. Yeah. So, uh, yes, short answer, no, you don't need other psychology. We'll provide the psychology. And if you want to go learn it, poof, by all means, we can point you in some really good directions.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Tim. Hi. Good to see you. Dude. We can't hear you. I
You're
don't know.
not muted, and
You're not muted, but we can't hear
yet
you.
you are silent. Wow. Yeah.
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 Okay, well, I'm going to answer. Is it Christian? Is that how you say your name?
Yes.
So the question was about study groups and kind of the format of the study groups. We have this amazing group of volunteer folks that are the TAs that have been through all our programs and who come back because they want to be in the classroom, they want to serve, and they are there as support, and there's 1 to 2 TAs at every study group, and sometimes there's more. Jay, how many study groups are there a week? I think there are 3.
3.
3. So there are 3 study groups a week. We try and have the time staggered a little bit so that we often have people from Europe or India or Asia that are in Australia. We seem to get a chunk of people from that. So we try and have some study groups at different times so that our folks that are in very different time zones don't have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to have study group. Study groups are a couple hours, and in study groups we don't have any new information presented. It's practicing what was learned the month before. We really encourage people to go to study groups. When you're looking at the dates, Jamie will have the study group schedule. The recommendation is to try to get to 1 a week if you can. It's not required. There's a magic that happens in study group that doesn't happen in the classroom. So
it's where a lot of practice occurs. So Carl and I can provide the information, describe how things are happen and why and how to work with things, and then do demonstrations in class. We don't have, I mean, you can see behind me, there's an easel here with a flip chart on it. We don't even have a single prepared flip chart page. It's all custom designed to be with whatever with the class in the moment on that day. We don't have some prefabbed stuff.
Y'all had some beautiful slides with Carrie Lee and Jamie. I saw those slides. Oh my goodness. Carl and I use flip charts.
Yeah. And
And in
and
class, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we do demonstrations with the students, and they're all live and they're right in the moment. And there's
We had a black pepper, ground black pepper.
I don't know. I don't know that we could be. I'm just not.
Anita.
black pepper, eh?
I recognize that
So,
voice.
but where the learning occurs, where the information and the exposure to the demonstrations and the discussion, where it goes from information and kind of marveling at, holy crap, this is amazing, where it goes into the body, into the muscle, so to speak, into the mind and the heart, that happens in study groups with our TAs. And we are the only center we know of that, well, a lot of places have study groups, but they don't have TAs to supervise and support the learning that goes on in the study groups. Our TAs offer themselves, and they are brilliant, experienced, amazing people with marvelous careers, and they just give a whole bunch of time and their intelligence and their learning to support the learning of our students. It's, I mean, I am impressed by them every single day that I get to be around them. That's not available elsewhere.
The TAs are also there on the weekends, and the class format is lecture, demonstration, and then practice. We go off into breakout rooms and work, and the TAs are always there as just there to support, and after a while to give some feedback to you. But the TA's main goal is to support your learning. The TAs are not evaluating you every minute of the day. The TAs are there to support you, and they're rooting for you just across the board. It's the love and care these folks show to the students is just amazing. We also try and staff with a variety of personalities for TAs so that everyone in the class has at least a few TAs that they can resonate with immediately.
At least a few, yes.
Yeah. And usually it's a lot, but it's, we have different personalities and different people that we have an easier time understanding or working with. And so that we do try and have a variety of, just amazing. And the friendships that are formed in that are just incredible too. Yeah. Hi, Tim. Are you talking now? Can we hear you?
I don't know. Is it working now?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes.
Great.
So I just wanted
Success.
I just wanted to say, so I've been around for a while, and
Yeah, like what, 10, 12 years now?
probably 15, 20 years. Yeah, it's been that long.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? So I'd just like to say a little bit about my experience. I came in for the tool set. It was to build my real estate practice, and that was the main reason why I came in, and I left with so much more. The toolbox that you get is for life. It's not just for, hey, I want to grow a business, I want a relationship. Those are all side benefits of what happens. I couldn't keep a relationship for more than a couple of years. Ended up in a 17-year relationship that was wonderful, and
Wow.
and so it's also the toolbox that helped me get out of that relationship as well. Not in a bad way. I was just stuck in it for 17 years, right? So and they know my ex-partner as well. So it's just a wonderful toolbox for life. I don't know what I would have done to without something like this. To having a mom die, going through a divorce, and father die, all within like a couple of year span.
Oh my goodness.
And come out of it. Of course, it was heavy and deep and traumatic, but I don't know what I would have done without the tool set. So you come in for one thing and you leave with so much more, no matter what it is. So, and greatly appreciated to both of you and and all the support that you do and get to have. Teaching's fun. It's a blast. You will laugh. You will cry. You will have so much fun. It's just a great experience overall.
Thank you, Tim.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
We do spend a lot of time laughing, actually, truly we do. We do serious we do serious things, but we never do them in a heavy way.
We are about at the top of the hour, so we'll do last call for any more questions. We're so happy that you joined us tonight.
Thank you.
Carrie Lee, please forgive me, but I don't know if we offer this, but is there a recording of an intro, like a regular full intro that people can get? I really truly
Yes.
don't know.
Yes. Jamie, if you can find that link real quick. We have it's the intro workshop button at the top of the NLP Marin website, and you fill out that form and you will immediately be sent the last intro we did a few months ago. So
That's my 3-hour elevator
that's
talk.
his 3-hour elevator speech. So
Okay, yeah.
grab that. We will also make this recording available to you and to the folks who couldn't join us live tonight. We just want to say hello to all of those folks, and so glad that you are joining us asynchronously.
Mm, good word.
And Jamie, you may have already done it, but I'm sure putting your link to set up time to talk to you could go into the chat. And let's see, is there a deadline for signing up for this course? We recommend you sign up as soon as you can because we are approaching. Class starts Thursday, March 27th. We have a manual to send to you. And so that needs to go in the mail to you. So the sooner you sign up, the sooner that we can mail that to you. So if you need a date, no later than March 15th. But we have taken students signing up the morning of class. So you'll just be using a PDF of the manual that weekend, and we'll get you a paper manual as soon as we can. And what else? Oh, when you go to the website for the registration, it's actually an application form. We have an application form. It is not about weeding you out or are you the best, that kind of thing. It's a mutual discussion about is this the right fit for you? So a lot of people find answering the questions very clarifying for themselves. And having a conversation with Jamie also helps clarify a lot of things. Some people don't, this is a secret, but some people just bypass and talk to Jamie directly. And that's okay. But we would just want to make sure that's the right fit. We know this is an investment for you. And making sure it's going to be the right fit is important. So we'd just like to meet you before you sign up. And yeah. Jennifer, did you want to get the last question in?
Well, the last question is, how do I pay? I actually did send in my application because I thought, maybe I wouldn't be a good fit. I was worried. And
Okay.
I had a delightful conversation with Jamie, and it
Okay.
was all in.
Yay.
But I didn't
Jamie-
actually see where to send the money, and I can't send a check. I could do it
Oh,
electronically.
no. Jamie will send you a link, and if she needs to resend it, she'll resend it. But yeah, there's a link to sign up online.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, we're
Thank
so
you,
happy to
Jennifer.
have you join us.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
How many people are usually in the classes? It varies. 20 to 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
occasionally a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
And
right.
variety, and not so much that it's, you never get a word in.
Yeah. There's still a lot of individual attention even when the classes are bigger. So
Yeah, it's one of our, we're proud it's one of our specialties.
yes.
Or you can just hang out in back and be grumpy and we'll leave you alone.
The TAs won't, but Carl and I will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. It's a pleasure to spend an evening with you. And we look forward to, as we like to say, we look forward to seeing you on campus, virtually or in person.
Okay.
So
Thank
see
you,
soon.
everyone. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming.
Take
Thank
care.
Evening. Bye.
Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.